the hunger was just passion, man. The hunger was that, you know, we were supposed to be dead by 18. That's what they told Rod's generation, my generation. I was from Detroit, and they said we were not going to be anything. So I was hooping every day, and I was like, you know, I'm representing Detroit out here. You know, I found motivation. You know, my father worked in a factory and grew up on a plantation and, you know, had an unfair life. And so I knew that I was in a blessed situation and I better make the best out of it. And I was coming from Michigan where, you know, I just lost in 2 championships. You know, I was ready to try to come get it. And so to go to Golden State and to have like old heads like Spreewell and Billy Owens and Chris Mullin, that was a blessing. That kept me motivated because Spree and Billy O were dogs. So it was like, okay, I found that here. And then to go to Washington where Juwan was there, I mean, Rod could tell you when we were all together, man, it was the best times on and off the court. I mean, you could know where all of us, you could know where one guy was if you knew where the other was eating dinner. You could find the other people because they're either there or within a mile radius. Like it was love, man. And so when you play around people with that energy, you know, you could do anything. Like when we played the Bulls, we knew we weren't supposed to win. They had just won 72 games, but when you come with guys that just have heart, you just come with it. So a lot of it was from my environment. A lot of it was just from being hungry and wanting to represent like players that came before. And then a lot of it was the people that surround you that's feeding you that energy. And you know, but Young Sheet is so funny. He got a technical the first game he ever played in. And and you see he kept that tradition going. So that's kind of, you know, that's just kind of the dude he was. But I saw that tape too with us going at it. And he came in the league talking. And I wasn't even really talking like that, you know, and so he got my juices going again. It was fun playing with him, and she was a great teammate too.
Yeah, but CWebb is not giving himself enough credit right now because I played with him, and I can say this: CWebb was the spirit. Like at the end of the day, once CWebb left, we kind of lost our identity because CWebb was that guy. You know, he had that growl. He was ready to play. He was ready to compete. So he was a stat stuffer. So he did a little bit of everything. And, you know, he was kind of the engine, man. So, and like I said earlier in the show, every place you've gone, CWebb, you've made an impact. So you have a lot to do with that. You went to Golden State, and if I'm not sure, they wasn't the greatest team, were they?
No. Well,
you came in, y'all made the playoffs, lost to Phoenix. And then you come to Washington, not the greatest of team. You know, we make the playoffs. You leave, and then now we're terrible. You go to Sacramento. It wasn't really a good team. You come there, you make an impact. You know, y'all go from a game to making the finals, and probably got cheated. So
right.
I mean, that hurts your legacy as well. I mean, you could have been a champion, you know, because of some crazy stuff. But what I'm saying is you made an impact everywhere you went, and that says a lot about you.
No, man, and I appreciate it. You know, Rod, I hear the arguments, so I hear people say this and that and for against. And I look at my career like, man, it's something I can't explain, man. And if the players I played with, the best players that ever pick up a ball like you know, say that and know that, then I took that to me, everything to me, because that's really the only validation that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else can have their opinions and that be right or wrong. But, you know, I know in the era of the best power forwards and centers in the game that, you know, that I was there. I marked my name on that wall and said Webb was here. I know it's, you know, in permanent ink. So I ain't really got to, you know, I appreciate that coming from you and stuff like that. Really, I really mean it. That's what really let me keep going through all the bullshit. That's real.
Yeah, no, and it has to be said because, like you said, it's real. That's what it is.
Yeah. You're tuned in to Strictly Speaking, the hottest basketball podcast on the interwebs. Our special guest today is Chris Webber, a.k.a. CWebb. I'm your co-host, Ali Danwar, the man with the master plan, one of the greatest NBA point guards ever, Mr. Rod Strickland. In a couple minutes, fellas, we're going to go to the break. But before we get there, I really want Chris to kind of illuminate his post-playing journey, because, Chris, I got to tell you, man, I'm a big fan of your work on television. You guys have me dying laughing with this new players-only platform, the intellect, the knowledge, just the ability of you guys to connect with one another and transmit that through the television screen. Talk to us a little bit about when you were getting towards the end, because I've had these conversations with Rod before about, okay, what's the next move for me? You know, how am I going to set myself up? Did you see yourself being in this position, working in television, or did you have some other visions for yourself? And, you know, what did you do to prepare yourself to be at this level where you are as one of the top analysts in the game today?
You know what? I didn't see it coming because I think a lot of people go through it. I was in denial, man. You know, I could barely walk and I felt like I could keep playing and keep playing. So
I know that's,
you know, like I didn't watch film. It would hurt me to watch myself run, you know, but I was in denial, man. Like, I'm glad I'm not a boxer because I'd still be boxing, you know what I mean? So
you be getting knocked out like Roy Jones, boy.
Oh, man, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah. But I keep going, man. So, you know, for me, it was really just a blessing, man. It was something where, you know, we watched so many games. I just, you know, I felt that I could do anything I worked hard at, and so I knew that. But I knew, like, basketball, it was going to be tough. But I was able to go to NBA TV, and I really didn't know, man. I thought maybe I'd disappear and move to Montana, something grow a beard, maybe I'd go into coaching. I really didn't know. And but I really like this commentating thing. So it was a blessing. I had to work with the Dick Stocktons and the Amar Rashads and Marv Alberts, Ernie Johnson, Kevin Harlan. And so they really taught me how to, you know, be professional in it, what I need to do, how I need to work on it, things like that. And so I was just really lucky, man, to be around the right people and have a mother that stayed on me, man, and it was a teacher. And so I can't front like I went to school for this. I can't front like, you know, anything except I just work hard at it, and I've been given some really good opportunities, and hopefully I keep getting better at it.
We're going to go to the break. Stick and stay. Don't go away. On the other side, we're going to bring in Gary D. Howard. We're going to talk about what's currently going on in the league, some observations, and maybe we can get CWebb to tell some stories about Rod being scared of Muggsy Bogues. Back in a flash.
that's a true story.
Hey, I remember Rod one game asking me, like, yo, as soon as he inbound the ball, instead of pick, this little mucker be up under me the whole game.
Hey, yo, seriously? Hey, yo, I was not scared to dribble against anybody. Mookie Laylock, I don't care who. But dude right there. Hey, listen, one time we playing in the garden, and this is how bad he spooked me. So he's running behind me. I'm picking the ball up like 3/4 court, whatever. So we get on a fast break now, right? Somebody throwing a head to me. I got a layup by myself. The only dude who's trailing me is Muggsy Bogues.
Like Chucky.
Yo, listen to me. I go and I do this reverse on the other side of the backboard and miss. And all back to this, the weirdest, craziest shit, Webb. All I had to do was just put the ball back. Right. I do this little, like a big dude is coming out here. Like, dude just spooked me out, man. He just had me messed up. It took me years to get over that, because you can see, like, they got a video, and he's guarding me. And I'm driving, and he tried to cut me off, and I put it behind my back, and I scooped his layup or whatever. But that was when I look at that video, I say, damn, I finally got over.
He got out, he was in your head.
He was in my head, C-Webb. He was in my head, man.
North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University is a place where the dynamic and visionary challenge the status quo.
Aggies, engage.
We share a vision of preeminence. Using our minds, our research, and our passion, we engage the community and create positive, lasting global change.
Aggies, excel.
Since its establishment in 1891, NCANT has realized its land-grant mission and become one of the nation's most highly respected doctoral higher research universities. To continue the tradition of excellence, and because that's what Aggies do.
Aggies research. Aggies create. Aggies design.
Aggies innovate.
Aggies win.
Aggies
Triumph.
because that's what Aggies do.
Because that's what Aggies do.
Because that's what Aggies do.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Strictly Speaking with Rod Strickland. I am your co-host, Ali Danwar. Special guest today is Chris Webber, a.k.a. CWebb, one of the greatest basketball players in the history of our beloved game. We're going to shift gears a little bit, fellas. We're going to talk a little bit about some of our observations that we see going on right now in a fantastic mad dash toward the last third of the season. Kawhi Leonard is killing it. Russell Westbrook is a certified alien. James Harden is still giving them work. And we got so much to talk about in the basketball universe. March Madness is coming up. Before we do that, we're going to bring in Mr. Gary D. Howard, the Director of Corporate Initiatives for the American City Business Journals. Gary D. is a longtime sports editor who was the only African-American sports editor at a major metropolitan daily back in 1994 when he was named the executive sports editor at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. A frequent guest on Stephen A. Smith's former show on ESPN. Quite frankly, Gary was the editor-in-chief with Sporting News and a past president of the Associated Press Sports Editors, the first African-American to hold that position in the 40-year history of the organization. And he also previously served as the president of the National Association of Black Journalists Sports Task Force. Gary just doesn't talk the talk. He walks the walk as a shoot-first point guard who never saw a pass that he liked. He lit up Harlem's Rucker Park back in the day, playing with the Ballantine Ale team, which also featured a bad man by the name of Byron Strickland, Rod's big brother, who owns the USBL scoring record with 65 points in a game. Y'all might know him as one of the dancers on stage with KRS-One in the Bridges Over video, and the man who choreographed the dance moves on New Edition's If It Isn't Love video, and as Mad Dog Sergeant at Arms in the JJ Got Shot episode of Good Times. We welcome to the stage my man, my mellow, my fellow, Gary D. Howard, and the D stands for that boy good.
Ali Danwar, you are amazing. I'm telling you, you gotta call my mom and do that introduction. She would love it. She would love it, man. That was fantastic. He was something kind of funny. Rod, I thought you were gonna tone him down a little bit.
No, I can't do nothing with him, Gary.
Great to be on the show, man. I was listening to it earlier. You got CWebb on the show, one of my favorite players of all time. Could do anything on the court, and at the same time, I was one of the few players I think that played in the NBA and actually smiled while he played. One of the few people. If you compare CWebb to Raw, I've never seen Raw smile on the court.
I don't remember.
CWebb is always smiling on the court.
That's because Rob was saying something funny or something.
Yeah, that could be the only reason, because I haven't seen too many smiles.
Well, it's good to be on the show, gentlemen.
Good to have you, Gary. Let's talk a little bit, man. Chris, you do this for a living, man. You watching these great players, these wonderful, magnificent teams. We're hitting the home stretch now. If you had three things that would just pop into your mind in terms of the things that you're looking at now that really make you go, wow, man, this is so much fun, what are some of the things that stand out to you at this current stage of the season?
Well, I would say what the guards are doing. I think the guards are so much fun to watch. So, you look at Harden and Westbrook with the triple-doubles. I'd say that's one thing. I'd say, Golden State, how they're going to handle Durant being out, that's another thing, I'm looking at, and that's kind of just fun to watch and see if San Antonio will try to come up behind them. And then third, I want to see what the Clippers do. They've been kind of up and down, and it's just the year to kind of blow that team up over the summer. They got free agents. You know, what's going to happen with them? So for me, you know, those three things I think come